Hi, this is Travis in the Uncanny Valley. Um, this isn't a random memory, but so one thing I don't really understand is how most people with Asperger's are, or at least the stuff you mostly hear about is muted emotions or muted emotional expression. But I don't have that. I have very much the opposite. I my emotions are right at the surface, and I'm sure you're gonna probably see that tonight. Um, I was doing something I do pretty often. I was going through my phone trying to pick what few pictures I could get rid of to make more room. Um, and this picture, I found this picture. Um, this is from November 13th, 2020. So I was only almost like 5 months into this journey of knowing I was somewhere on the spectrum. And I had for a long time uh, occasionally um, used a translator app for in a way that I can't really. I'm not going to get into here, but in an effort to uh, use basically just to use different words that would hopefully be less frustrating to people, getting it into a different language. It was a process that it worked sometimes, but anyways, um, the reason I say that is because this day I was working at a hospital, and in one of the restrooms, there was this very helpful thing taped to the wall, Interpreter Etiquette. And I'll try and post it to the side, but it just really uh, had an impact on me, and I took a picture of it. It was a single person restroom, so it's not like I was using a restroom in a with one for multiple people, but it was just I'm going to just read a few of the things here, and if if you're neurodivergent, um, this might ring a bell with you as things that you've longed for as well. Um, Interpreter etiquette. Uh, for all intents and purposes, I feel like uh, usually our role is to be the interpreter and the person needing the interpretation. So um, that's how I'm reading it, because I am trying to interpret neurotypical people's speech and mine into their language. Here's one. Do not hold the interpreter responsible for what the patient says or does not say. If you feel that there is a gap in understanding, restate the question or consult with the interpreter to ensure that another cultural barrier is not interfering with communication. I think that might be all I do is just read these. Remember, increasing your volume does not bring more clarity. Speak slowly, evenly, and use short phrases. Ask the patient to repeat back information to check for understanding. Avoid interrupting the patient or interpreter. Be patient. Providing quality care takes time, especially with a language barrier. Do not patronize or infantilize the patient. Lack of English language skills is not a reflection of lack of education or cognitive function. Create a comfortable environment for the patient. Body language and tone of voice make a huge difference. Encourage feedback and questions from the patient by actively engaging in the conversation. Be deliberate in your speech. Avoid using fragments or changing thoughts mid-sentence. Avoid flowery language or metaphors. Use layman's terms when discussing medical procedures. Ask one question at a time. Respect the interpreter's role and give them a moment to consider the best way to restate the information to the patient. Even though I'm both of those people in my mind, I definitely needed that. I definitely need that. The patient is the focus. Man, this is such a, speaking from neurotypical figurative language to at least my version of neurodivergent speech is absolutely a cultural barrier. I mean, it's a culture in every way. Like, I need this stuff. Like, oh man. If you are someone who needs this stuff, I encourage you to just continue to articulate that in ways that are clear boundaries so that people can understand. Your friends and family can understand that, like I say, you are not the difficulty. You're experiencing a difficulty. And if there's a language barrier, it's not healthy for that to be viewed as a barrier on one side. Like in this analogy, I mean, usually I feel like I'm both the interpreter and the person needing the interpretation. I feel like the onus is on me most times in most situations with most people. The onus is on me to be doing all the extra legwork. Sometimes people ask questions and the words that they use have nothing to do with what they're wanting to know. And that's a language problem on their side as I experience it. And the way I respond to the actual words, not understanding all the figurative stuff that they were meaning to say or did say to other neurotypical people there. I yeah, man, there's so much work to be done in this area. Like, let's be patient with each other and show grace. It reminds me of a passage in Leviticus 19. When a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself. For you were foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Do not use dishonest standards when measuring length, weight, or quantity. Use honest scales and honest weights, an honest ephah and an honest hin. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt. This is largely a neurotypical world. So I've always felt like a foreigner here, and I feel like I am a foreigner here, and as a Christian, I know I am in that respect as well. Just passing through, but I would implore you to show grace to people who are struggling with the language. I am not meaning to be unkind, but I absolutely understand that that is a fair way to understand my words. And please be patient with me as with your friends and family if they're struggling. Just be patient. I'll try and be patient with you, and you try and be patient with me, and this will go better.